Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Pennsylvania Farm Show. I am very thankful to be here. This is our fourth time on stage. When I first started, these kids were all 4 years younger, and they were so cute. And I'm very blessed to watch them now. First of all, let me tell you where we're from. We're from Mars, Pennsylvania. Start on the planet Earth. Then go to the United States, go to Pennsylvania, go to Butler County, Adams Township, and we live in the town of Mars. The reason why we're here is because NASA has a challenge for you. What does the planet Mars look like with 100 people on it? The reason why NASA wants you to answer that question, especially you three right here, is because the thoughts and minds of little kids are amazing and help us come up with good answers. When NASA comes to our town, every 687 days, they throw a big party called the Mars New Year. We even have a special dinner to celebrate them coming. They send astronauts to our town. They send rovers and all kinds of activities to get you thinking about the planet Mars. Now, these kids up here, the kind of stuff they're thinking about is, how are we going to enjoy bacon and eggs on Mars? If you don't have a cow and a pig up there, how are you going to eat it? And one of my favorites, how do we get seeds to grow on the planet Mars? Who doesn't love a good avocado with some salt sprinkled on it? That's a wonderful snack. But if we never learn how to plant that on the red planet, then we'll never know the answers. These guys have some more questions to answer for you, and they do it with Go STEAM. God originated science, technology, engineering, art, and math. So please enjoy their presentation. Who's first? S.
Hello. Is it on? Is it on? Okay. Hello. My name is...
Turn to the side. Did you turn it off?
I think it's on. The light's on.
Okay, then talk closer to it.
Hello. My name is... Hello. My name is Gabby Spuntak. I am a 10th grader at Mars Area High School in Mars, PA. I'm also the secretary of Mars Space Pioneers. We are a 4-H and STEAM club. Today I'm going to talk to you about the letter S, science. Space. First we need to know where space starts. It's called the Kármán line. It is this imaginary boundary at 62 miles above sea level. This line, known as the Kármán line, is where Earth ends and space begins. As you can see, the Kármán line lines right between the thermosphere and the metrosphere, which is pretty cool. Now, my question to you, ladies and gentlemen, who here has a pet? That's awesome, because I have rabbits, I have cats, and I just recently got a dog. And last year, our club raised a sheep, and we sold it. Scientists use animals to study what will happen so they can learn and adapt using the data that they collected. How will it affect our 5 senses, our balance, our weight, our emotions, the ability not to throw up, because no one likes that, heart rate, breathing, and so much data and so many animals. And here are just a few. Did you know the first animal, well, I consider it a pest. If you consider it an animal, that's on you. Fruit flies went to space in 1947. And in 1950, the first mouse in space. 1957, Luka, the Russian dog, who was the first animal to orbit the Earth. She was actually a stray, so they felt that she was going to be more adapted to survive the 7-day journey. 1968, a turtle and worms were sent by the Russians to orbit the moon. They crashed into the Indian Ocean, still alive, but they lost 10% of their body weight. Now, kids, that is not a diet I would recommend. In 1970, Bullfrogs were sent to orbit around the Earth. NASA studied and sustained weightlessness in bullfrogs. They found that in 6 days, the bullfrogs' bodies were figured out how to work in space. Those frogs actually had a special mission satellite just for them. A huge rocket sent them up in space, then a satellite separated and ran around the Earth, holding only 2 frogs. Only 2. Those frogs had heaters and artificial lungs to make sure that they wouldn't die because they needed them to survive. And they also had monitors and probes recording all kinds of biometric information. We learned from just 2 frogs that taking a ride on a rocket and making orbits around the Earth. 32 monkeys and apes have been to space. That's a lot of monkey. You wouldn't really expect that. You expect like dogs or something like that, but 32 monkeys, that's a lot. 1970, garden spiders. Can they spin webs in space with no gravity? Guess who asked that question? Some kid in high school in Massachusetts. Her name, Judith Miles. You see, kids do matter to NASA, and Jesus in the Bible says that kids are very important, of all ages. Well, NASA says that too, because they want kids to come up with ideas to use in the sky, Skylab. 1972, Ronald Evans and 2 other astronauts went to space with 5 mice named Fee, Fi, Fo, Fum, and Fooey. They orbited around the Earth 75 times. I mean, they orbited the moon 75 times. Like, that's a lot of orbits. Can you believe that? 1970, fish and 50 eggs. Comparing humans with fish because they move 3-dimensionally. Now, people move up, down, back and forth, while fish and birds can move in an X, Y, and Z axis. Up, down, back and forth, and diagonally. The fish were called aquanauts, and they went up to space with astronauts who took care of them. The astronauts got space sick, and fish swam in loops. And after a few days, they acclimated to space and felt and acted normal again. 2007, tennegrates, first animal to survive pure outer space. They have a nickname, the water bear. They are a microscope invertebrates that have been able to survive in extreme conditions on Earth. Now, this is cool, but you can't see them with your own eye. It's hard to get excited, but they do look really cool. I mean, they look like space aliens. Like, isn't that, like, amazing? Oh, and I forgot, in 1969, first man on the moon. I mean, we are animals of mankind, so isn't that pretty cool? So the reason I picked animals was for a different reason. You see, I love my animals. I don't want to do experiments with them, and I definitely want to do a bunch of research and data with them, but I want to pet them and cuddle them and maybe get some eggs from them every once in a while. I want animals on Mars to serve a purpose, companionship, production. I want to get milk from a cow and fiber from a sheep. I want to talk to my betta fish and enjoy his colors. Now, Russians sent 57 dogs to space. Yes, for experiment reasons. You see, and they did that because they love their dogs. They love a well-trained dog. And they love how they guard, hunt, jump, attack, and sniff things out. And also, they want a warm companion on a cold night that does not talk back. A few cats would be nice. Data from Star Trek, The Next Generation, had a cat named Spot. On a spaceship called Enterprise with Captain Jean-Luc Picard. He's kind of bold, as you can see. And heck, right this minute, now that's just a TV show, folks. That's not real life. And we don't live on starships. But who knows? Maybe we will one day. I mean, heck, right this minute, up in space, inside the International Space Station, known as the ISS, is in the sky right now. It is orbiting the Earth every 93 minutes. So that means that every hour and a half, humans with lots of experiments going on are going around us 15 times a day. And we don't even realize it. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know about you, but when I go to space, I would definitely want an emotional support animal with me. Thank you.
There you go, you start. Right now? Yeah, I just right now. Yeah, go ahead. That's right. Hi, I'm Melissa Drake, and I'm 15 years old. I've been in 4-H for 8 years now, and I'm from Butler County, PA, and I show lambs, pigs, and a steer.
Hi, I'm Daisy Snow. I'm the Vice President of the Mars Space Pioneers. I live in Butler County, and I've been in 4-H for about 8 years, and I show pigs and lambs.
Okay, so today we are going to be talking about the T in technology. Does anyone know what terraforming is? No? Okay, well, terraforming is to change the environment of another planet to make it like Earth or support life similar to Earth. But how do we do it? Is it even possible? And where do we even start?
Right now, many facilities are creating many goals and plans. SpaceX's goal is to create transparent domes pressurized with CO2 from Earth's atmosphere to become greenhouses for growing Earth plants. They also aim to create equipment to extract or produce oxygen, methane, and fertilizer from Mars's atmosphere and soil. To start, there's been some discussion of creating vertical farming systems. Does anybody know what vertical farming is?
Nobody.
That's okay, I'll tell you. I'll just tell you anyways. Vertical farming is the practice of growing produce in vertically stacked layers. It attempts to produce food in challenging environments where there is rare land or none at all. High crop fields allow round-year food production and in any climate, and it enables farms to focus on goals ranging from food safety to food quality. It has already been done here on Earth. A vertical farming system that has now developed into a multi-million-dollar industry. It includes companies like Square Roots, who was founded by Elon Musk's brother, Kimball Musk. So over in these posters, hopefully this microphone doesn't react, these are NASA's images of what vertical farming may look like. That's okay. So as you can see here, this one is actually built into the side of Mars's soil in a little room. But obviously these aren't real yet, but these are their plans. So they would need different types. These are the vertical in drawers, but there was also some on my poster. They're also in columns too, so in many different ways, and it allows us time and space. There's a lot more space when you do it up and down, except for, because you only have so much floor space. So going up and down is a lot more productive. If you want to look at those after we're done, you can. Where'd my thing go? There, you talk.
Although we have been researching farming on Mars, it won't be that easy. There are a lot more problems than solutions. The planet's lack of protective magnetic field means the solar wind will continue stripping its atmosphere. The atmosphere is not made for plants to be grown. Future crops will need more than just water and dirt as well. They need habitats with breathable air, radiation protection, steady temperatures, and pressure to survive. The water supply could also become an issue. The overall plan is to extract ice from the plant's surface, and it can be melted. Plants require food, not just water, so they will need also fertilizer. The problem with Mars soil is it lacks organic content.
So as you can see, and as we've talked about, this pillow represents Earth, and that pillow represents Mars. And as you can see, they're really different, such as their color. And so why is their color different? Does anybody know?
Just guess.
It's okay, we'll tell you anyways. So as she said before, Mars's soil is it's all iron basically. So obviously you don't see any plants just growing out of iron, right? So also another problem that we have come across is, what is this blue stuff, Missy?
Water.
Okay, do you know where water is on Mars?
Only right here and right here.
What form is this water in?
Liquid.
And what form is this water in?
Solid.
So again, our plan would be to melt the frozen water, which would not be easy because first of all, how would we get something there to melt it? And it would probably take a while because it's really cold and the air is cold. So next subject. So along with these problems, we have been researching some solutions that can eventually solve these problems. Like there was an experiment by the German Aerospace Center. Lycan spent 34 days in the Mars simulation facility, which is shown in either of those posters. This showed that plants could grow in the cracks of rocks and the gaps in the soil, but this was only imitation of what is on Mars. Plants have been proven to grow faster in higher pressure, so these domes that we would be creating would have to be very pressurized. In low pressure, they react as if they have been stuck in a drought, which isn't beneficial. Plants native to Earth could possibly manage on Mars because of the levels of sunlight and their day lengths are similar. Alfalfa plants would be capable of surviving in the tough volcanic soil which covers Mars. Researchers have determined that it could be used as fertilizer to grow fruit like turnips, radishes, and lettuce. Currently, a research station in Utah called the Mars Society is testing a greenhouse model for growing food that also doubles to recycle water so we have the least amount of waste possible. So in our posters on the sides here, and we also have 2 more that aren't set out. After we're done, you guys can take a look at them. They're pretty interesting.
So we are farmers here on Earth, and we enjoy learning the different ways we can expand the industries. Thank you.
It wasn't bad.
Hello, my name is Sam, and I come from Butler County, Pennsylvania, and I'm part of the Mars Space Pioneers Club. And to start out my part of the presentation, I wanted to say something about engineering. So this is my helper, AJ. So these 2 chairs, they're camping chairs. Does anyone here camp? Good. So, are these chairs comfy? Would you say?
Especially this one.
Yeah. So now we're going to look over, like, the engineering about these 2 chairs. So let's fold up these chairs. You can fold up that one. I'll fold up this one. So, good. So,
voila! Look how simply it folds up. There we go. Engineering at its finest.
and then this one just folds up like a folding table.
Skinny, small, stick it under somewhere.
And a slide. Okay, so this is my favorite slide because I love history, and this is about history on Mars. So Mars got its name after the Roman god of war, and in the ancient Babylonians recorded Mars in their observations of the sky. In the Middle Ages, Mars's movements were used to predict the outcome of entire battles. No, the outcome of battles and entire wars. And I wish I could use Mars to predict the outcome of my math test. So this is engineering. Thank you. Mars has a very thin atmosphere, much thinner than Earth's atmosphere. So this tent was designed by an engineer to keep me safe from Mars's radiation, because we do not want to get radiation sickness.
when I go to Mars, I want to take a variety of engineers. Since the atmosphere does not contain much, like, oxygen, we will need an engineer to make a mask that we can easily wear when we go outside. So this is a variety of engineers that I want to take to Mars. Chemical engineer. They are needed to design the systems that make a variety of chemicals that we use in our day-to-day lives. And they will need to use whatever Mars has to offer. Examples are how we recycle on Mars, clean water, making special chemicals, medicines, different ways to reduce fertilizers to grow food. Electrical engineer. We need electricity on Mars. So an electrical engineer will need to fix whatever electrical components that we use every day. And this might be generators that might work by the fuel of the rocket. So we need to get to Mars. That's when the aerospace engineer comes in. They design, develop, test, and produce our spaceship. Biomedical engineers. They improve human health by designing products and technology. And the examples are radiation shields, like this tent. Mechanical engineers. We need them to help design and build proper housing, turbines, and other things that we'll need day to day. And they will need help with a 3D printer for materials. Talking about the houses on Mars, we need them to, like, we don't want them to float away, because on Mars you would float away if you didn't have the right equipment. And so we will need them to anchor to the ground. Now, this is also a really good part that I like. And so me and my dad.
I just messed it up. I was trying to pick it up for you, buddy.
Yeah, here. This is how I was gonna have it. I was gonna have it like go through and then launch it.
Do it at the end.
So, here. It's fine.
Wow! Right? You see that?
So that's my trebuchet, and they are used by throwing heavy objects very far. Like, as you saw, now that's not heavy because we didn't want to hurt anyone. So, trebuchets were once used in battle. And on Mars, they can be used to transport heavy items from one part of Mars to the other part of Mars. It does not need fossil fuel. It does not need fossil fuel. I only talked about a few engineering professions. Many more talented people will be needed to make engineering and life on Mars happen. So this is what we know about Mars. It's the only planet that rovers have been sent to. A Mars year is 687 days compared to Earth's 365 days. A day on Mars is 24 hours and 37 minutes. What would you do with that extra 37 minutes? For example, I'd read a book. Okay, can you go back? So it's red. Iron oxide is what makes Mars red, and iron oxide is rust. Mars has 2 moons, Phobos and Deimos, which in a couple hundred years are supposedly supposed to either disintegrate or crash into the surface of Mars. So on Mars, you experience less gravity than you're used to on Earth. If you weighed 100 pounds on Earth, you'd only weigh 38 pounds on Mars. Mars has water, but it's frozen. And it's not it's not the water that you drink. An engineer will need to tap into the water and purify it so we can drink it. Mars is dry and rocky, similar to Earth's deserts. NASA and Mars exploration. NASA is the leader in space exploration. They are the only agents. No, they landed probes, rovers, and landers on Mars. NASA has plans to create an Earth-independent colony on Mars by the end of 2030. Thank you for coming today. Now I have one question. Who wants to buy a one-way ticket to Mars? And then afterwards, I have some books and this mechanism, so you'll have to wait till afterwards to see how it works.
This thing is blinding. Okay. Is this on? Yeah, it is. Okay. No, it's not. Okay, my name is Rose Snow, and this is my friend Bailey. We are talking about the letter A in STEAM to talk about art. Well, you see, I would not actually want to go to Mars. I mean, seriously, spending 7 to 9 months getting there, no milk and cereal in the middle of the night, and going through the G-forces when leaving Earth's atmosphere, no, thank you. I'm perfectly happy here on Earth. My mom wants me to learn facts about Mars. She wants me to think about my future and role and what the future of our universe could be. Well, I figured I'd pick something I like since I'm forced to do this. I like fashion and interior design. So I love finding the right clothes, seeing what matches, and finding just the right fabric, and making my own brand. Branding clothes in space. I think that's something I could enjoy talking about. So here is my igloo. This diverse and unique outfit has many uses and adaptabilities. First, it can be a skirt. Then it can be a dress. You can get it in many different colors and few different fabrics. Now, my favorite part, it's called an igloo because, well, it provides you shelter and it lets you hide. It has many uses for this formation. You can hide from the dust storms and in the cold, or in my case, from your mother. Now, Mars is its warmest at 70 degrees. That is not too bad. I wear shorts in the winter, so 70 degrees Fahrenheit is not that bad. So the coldest Mars gets is negative 295 degrees. My mom would be happy because she would not have to tell me to put on pants in this weather. Now, this diverse protective clothing will also be radiation protective. The solar flares in Mars and highly energetic particles and ionizing radiation to hit Mars' surface. This cosmetic radiation can give you cancer and radiation poisoning. So the igloo will be the go-to brand to keep you safe and stylish in space. Another important fashion concept in space will be interior design. I love rearranging my room. I can constantly keep upgrading, changing with the most current trends, and not so long ago, I had a pink phase. Then there was a random phase, and now I'm focusing more on natural colors. But on the planet Mars, it will be different. So I will not be stuck in my mom's house. I know I want one of those little pod homes. The way I see it, we will each have our own design in our own space, with tunnels from going to common areas to different sections and then individual pods. Oh wait, that's...
Hi, my name is Bailey, and I want to talk about lighting. I love using LED lights in my bedroom at home, and if I have to go to the planet Mars, and if I have to live there, I would want to be able to control the lighting. Lighting can affect your mood. The lack of good lighting can make you depressed, and being able to pick your lighting or set it to music and bring you joy in a place that can be kind of scary. In my room at home, I can control the lights with a remote, And on the planet Mars, I would either use solar power or wind power to generate my electricity for my lights. Now, there are a few things I would bring with me to Mars. LED lights, like this keyword love. There are many different applications for this kind of corded lighting. One of my favorites is fiber optics. One tiny strand of light can carry light through a wall into a tiny space. Hold this. Can carry light through a wall into a tiny space or be used in many artistic and practical applications. For example, we could make a whole wall illuminate. We can use a soft light to illuminate an entire room, floor, wall, or structure. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Bailey. So to review, I'm Rose Snow. I'm the 14-year-old designer and fashion expert for the planet Mars. So in conclusion, art will be an important thing in Mars. You will want to buy My Igloo brand clothing to keep you safe, stylish, steamy, and stellar while living on the red planet. You must also be prepared to pack your storage in mind. And remember, NASA is coming to Mars on June 9th and 10th. They want to take you to take the Mars Challenge, 100 of your friends, to go to Mars. What will you bring to the table? Thank you.
Hello? Hello? Hi, my name is AJ Snow, and I am covering the letter M today. That is for math. I am 11 years old, and I live in the town of Mars. Mars is celebrating 150 years of this town. Wow, 150 years, that's a pretty long time. We have a special friendship with NASA in our town. In fact, we have a spaceship right in the middle of our town. Well, NASA likes celebrating the planet Mars New Year's. It happens every 687 days, about twice as long as Earth. It takes twice as long because Mars is farther from the sun. On June 9th and 10th, NASA will be coming to our town. They will be celebrating the planet's New Year while we celebrate 150 years as a town. And boy, oh boy, is it a party. Makers, builds, robots, drones, and rovers. So many things to see and do. If you want to join the party, we would love for you to come. Consider this your invitation. NASA wants to know what the planet Mars looks like when we are standing on the soil with 100 of our friends. You see, the math of getting to Mars is not too good. Well, we brought these tents because we need a place to live when we get there. The closest Mars and Earth are from each other is 33 million miles. And when we get there, we will want our own space. Seriously, the 4-hour drive here with 7 of us in the car is bad enough. Think about 7 to 9 months of, are we there yet? Little module homes of some sort. Maybe even tunnels to connect their little houses together. Soil is important. The ground on Mars is 98% mineral matter and 2% air and water. The soil on Earth is 50% air and water, 45% mineral matter, and 5% soil, and 5% organic matter. That 5% might seem small, but organic matter is what makes it so we can grow such great food. Our atmosphere is made out of 76% nitrogen and 21% oxygen. Mars has only 2% nitrogen and 96% carbon dioxide. Breathing in carbon dioxide can lead to death by suffocation. As humans, we usually process oxygen and exhale carbon dioxide. We release about 2.3 pounds of carbon dioxide. We need to take it out, we need to get it out, not take it in. Yeah, another problem to living on the 4th planet. There have been over 45 attempts at missions to Mars, but only 22 have met their objectives. 5 different countries have tried to send satellites, orbiters, rovers, landers, and drones. 50% success and 50% failure. Not too bad when you consider the millions of things that can go wrong on the way. You see, the math of getting to Mars is not too great. The last Mars New Year's, we figured out the 100 people that we would take with us to the planet Mars. We picked them because they were smart, or tall, or strong, or could handle extreme conditions. We picked them for companionship, for reproduction, for thinking on their feet, for engineering skills. And we picked good mechanics, good construction workers, because it will take a lot of broken things and coming up with solutions for issues that we've never seen before. The chances of dying on the way to Mars is over 50%. There are way too many unknowns, but keep this number in mind. 1976, that is the very first time we landed on the planet Mars. That is 1 year before my mom was born. Think about all we will accomplish when she's a grandma. Oh, when I'm a grandpa. We have to start somewhere. Math is where it all begins, and now I give you back to my mom.
He actually turned it off before he handed it to me. How sweet. So, kids, can you please come up here really quick? Sam's dad, will you set up the Rube Goldberg? So, back in the 1800s, a man named Rube Goldberg was an awesome, fancy schmancy engineer. He actually studied at Stanford. And he's like, when I want to grow up, I want to work for the city and get one of them sweet, sweet government jobs. So he worked for the Sewer Authority of New York. He wasn't there very long, and he realized dreams are nothing but chocolate-covered nightmares, and he didn't want to do all the work it took to make that dream happen. So he changed his dream, and he followed his passion as a cartoonist. And he ended up winning a Pulitzer Prize and became quite famous for his intricate drawings, because one thing an engineer can do is he can draw really well. And because of him, he loved to make simple machines that did overly complex things. And right here, this Rube Goldberg that we came up with, as a club, we compete in different competitions, basically using lots of different items to do one simple thing: put a ball in a hole, turn a switch, fill up a glass. Something little and intricate that is started by one tiny thing and has a lot of cause and effect along the way. As hopefully all of them pointed out, takes a lot of people to make it happen. If you really think about it, 1976 for some of us really wasn't that long ago. And we can remember what it felt like and tasted like. Like, we feel good memories about it. Well, the memories that are happening now for kids today, who knows what they will look like? Some of us actually witnessed someone on the moon. We might just witness someone making it to Mars. Sam, will you start your Rube Goldberg, please? He does go fast. And drop, spin, 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 round and round and round. What? Oh, catch it. I thought it was going that way. Maybe you could catch it. I don't know when I let it. Now, sometimes it messes up. You got to reset it. There you go. Knock it over, flip it. Yo, okay. There you go. You see? That's right. So where'd it go? It went underneath the stage and shot that way. But all these simple things that we learn and we work at, they build little engineers. We thank you very much.